What is up, everybody? You are checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, The Hot Commodity Ant C. And if you are new to the series or if you are back, welcome. You are checking out the Attitude Years, and we're on season two. You can check out our first season, The Archives, which covered December 1997 to December 98. And now we are on January 4th, 1999, the beginning of season two. Season two will cover the whole year of 1999, including all of WWE's pay-per-views. So we are in for a wild, crazy ride. I'm so excited for us to start this journey. So thank you for tuning in. I'll just start off by saying if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, like, and hit that notification bell to stay notified when new content is created. You can also check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and wherever you get your podcast. So let's jump into our time machine back to January 4th, 1999 in Worcester, Massachusetts. The corporation come out to start off Raw's War. Vince says, "It's no secret that Shawn Michaels threatened to show up here on Raw. I suggest none of you hold your breath because Shawn Michaels will be a no-show here tonight. Shawn Michaels is not brave. I hope you will forgive me for firing Shawn Michaels. I had to make an example out of him. No one will disparage my son Shane. Anyone that had anything to do with the emotional scarring of my son will be punished by me." Shawn Michaels arrives backstage and walks out. Shawn Michaels says, "Vin Man, the sheriff is back in town. This time, I brought the cavalry with me." DX comes out. Shawn says, "My contract as commish is ironclad. It was you that said I would answer to no one, including Vince McMahon. So guess what? The only Shawn Michaels thing incapable of being is commissioner will be if I resigned. You may surely assume I will be singing to Sam for a long time. You said you didn't. You said you would make dreams come true. I'm gonna make yours come true too." We see Vince McMahon saying, "I hope I'm number two in the Royal Rumble match." Shawn says, "I have say so on all competitors who enter the Royal Rumble match. Vince McMahon, you will be entering at number two, and Stone Cold Steve Austin will be number one. Sometime within the 2 hours, Shawn Michaels will get will get you a surprise, and it will drive you stone cold crazy." So Austin and McMahon are definitely going to have to face each other because Mr. McMahon is now number two in the Royal Rumble match. Stone Cold is number one. And the thing here is he thought he could fire Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels totally got one over on him. Vince is going to be pissed. So we have the Intercontinental Champion Ken Shamrock taking on Steve Blackman in a non-title match. This is a lot of back and forth action. Dan Severn comes out. Ken Shamrock nails a belly to belly. Dan Severn gets on the apron and Shamrock pushes him off. Then Billy Gunn hits Ken Shamrock with a Fameasser, and then Steve Blackman gets the pin. So a lot of confusion and distraction, but Billy Gunn costing Ken Shamrock this match here against Steve Blackman. We get the WWF rewind from 10/10/2020, and that was just from earlier. Billy Gunn hitting Ken Shamrock with the Fameasser. We see Ken Shamrock and Billy Gunn fight backstage. They brawl. These two men have an issue definitely with each other. Mankind comes out to the ring. Mankind says, "I gotta tell you, it's been a crazy couple of weeks. It was the first time I grabbed a man's testicles in my life. Pat, in a rugged way, I kind of enjoyed it. It was the first time I said suck it without saying please first, and I like kicking the McMahon family's ass. I would like a shot at The Rock's title at the Royal Rumble. I deserve it, not because I made Shane cry like a baby, but because I can see the signs that says Foley is God. I deserve a shot at the Rumble. What I humbly ask is for you to get your ass out here now, Dad." Vince McMahon that comes out. Vince says, "The corporate team is right behind me. You're a disillusioned, decrepit monster. You do all of this for them. How pathetic. You saw the good, you saw the good McMahon name when you put your slimy hands on my son Shane. You don't deserve a right to be the number one contender. You haven't paid your dues. You'll never gonna get a title shot. You will have an opportunity after the Royal Rumble. You and Triple H can fight, and the winner enters the Royal Rumble match. There will be a guest referee, my son Shane. Have a nice day." So Vince McMahon screwing Mankind over, definitely um McMahon wants to get revenge on the attack that Mankind gave his son Shane last week, putting the mandible claw on Shane McMahon. But I don't know. I think Mankind does deserve a title shot, but we'll see what happens. We see Chyna and her friend backstage, and this is going to develop later on. Mark Henry is going to take on Goldust here. Uh, and during the match, Henry nails a military press and a leg drop. Chyna and her friend come on the stage, and then Goldust hits Mark Henry with a Shattered Dreams, and Mark Henry gets the DQ victory. After the match, Chyna and her friend walk down to the ring, and Chyna says, I have a little confession. The other night with you was incredible. I'm afraid I'm not enough woman for you. You're way too much man for one woman. I want you to meet Sammy. Can you take a load off? Mark Henry then faints. This is Mark Henry's dream. First to have Chyna, but now to have Sammy. Mark Henry is in heaven. We see Dennis Knight is trapped and chained somewhere. It looks very creepy. He's almost like in a dungeon. We saw him getting kidnapped last week on Raw, and the feed just cuts out. We just see him chained up. Next, we have Tess taking on the Godfather with the hose. A lot of back and forth action. Tess sends the Godfather into the post outside. Val Venus and Tess brawl outside the ring and get pulled apart. These two men still have issues from the past couple of weeks. We see DX is backstage with Shawn Michaels. The Glover Slam of the week is Mankind beating up Shane McMahon 2 weeks ago on Raw, which I agree. Next, we have the winner of this match getting into the Royal Rumble with the special guest referee Shane McMahon, Triple H with Chyna versus Mankind. Triple H sunset flips over Mankind, and Shane does a fast count, and Triple H enters the Royal Rumble match. Triple H says, a win is a win, and when it comes to the WWE title, I will do anything. Happy New Year. And then Triple H hits Shane McMahon with a pedigree and tells Mankind he's all yours. Mankind puts Shane McMahon's arm in a submission, and Shane screams. Mankind says, I no longer want a title shot at the Royal Rumble. I want a title shot tonight. I want a no DQ match. Vince McMahon comes out and agrees. That then lets Mankind let Shane McMahon go, and Mankind now has a title shot against The Rock. Shane McMahon went through hell. Next, we have D'Lo Brown taking on Edge. This was a decent match, but PMS come out and Terri gets on the apron holding her belly. She falls off the steps. D'Lo watches. Terri screams, what happened? Jacqueline blames D'Lo, and then the EMTs put Terri on a stretcher. Very strange stuff here. Terri holding her belly. Is she pregnant? And she's screaming. D'Lo Brown is getting blamed. What is happening? Kane comes out with Shane McMahon, Pat Patterson, and Gerald Brisco. They make fun of Kane, and Shane announces that Pat Patterson and Gerald Brisco are going to fight Kane tonight. And Vince says, Kane, make them pay. Pat offers Kane a cigarette, but then Kane attacks them. He chokeslams Brisco and Patterson. He then pulls Brisco's legs through the post, and Kane grabs Shane, but Vince tells him, no, you'll go back. And Kane lets Shane go. So we obviously are finding out that Kane is working for Vince. Otherwise, he'll go back to the nut house. And Vince is mad about the attack that Shane went through, and he's getting everybody to go for it. We see Dennis Knight still trapped in that cage, and he's yelling out for help. Scary stuff here. We have a hardcore title match, the Road Dogg defending against Al Snow with Head. This is a decent hardcore match, a lot of action between these guys. Road Dogg pile drives Al Snow through a wooden crate, and he gets a 3 count victory. So Road Dogg getting the win here. We see the Acolytes push Dennis Knight through a door, so something's happening to Dennis Knight, and the Acolytes are involved here, and that's interesting. Shawn Michaels leaves the arena. Triple H gave Shawn Michaels the wrong key. We see Shawn get attacked by the corporate members, and he gets put face first through a windshield of the car. Poor Shawn Michaels getting attacked by the corporation. We now have the WWE Championship on the line. The champion, The Rock, with Vince, Shane, Ken Shamrock, Tess, and the Big Boss Man against Mankind with all of DX members. This is a great match. The Rock hits a rock bottom through the table. Mankind's still not it. Rock hits Mankind with a title belt, still gets a T. Man gets a 2. Mankind hits a double arm DDT on the belt, gets a 2 count. Mr. Socko gets applied on The Rock. And then Shamrock hits Mankind with a chair. DX and the corporations brawl with each other. And then Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out, hits The Rock with a chair, and puts Mankind on top of The Rock. And Mankind is our new WWE champion with the help of Stone Cold Steve Austin. after Vince is pissed and DX lift up Mankind in his arms. A great way to start off 1999, a underdog becoming champion. And of course, this Raw is very memorable because it is the same night on Nitro that Tony Schiavone said that this would put a lot of people in seats seeing Mankind win, and it definitely did. A bunch of fans tuned in to see this. I definitely did. This is a great edition of Raw, and we're on the road to Royal Rumble. Stone Cold Steve Austin and Vince McMahon are definitely on the path to fight each other, which I'm excited to see. And with that, I'm going to let you go. We have a lot more videos coming up of the Attitude Years. Stay safe and stay uncensored.